Bible Study Guide Day 71, Deuteronomy 3-4. After the victory over Sihon, king of the Amorites, Moses and the Israelites turned their attention to defeating Og, king of Bashan. Og was the last of the Rephites and ruled over many cities in Bashan. Moses recalls how they had defeated Og's army, taking control of all his cities and completely destroying them. The cities of Bashan were fortified with high walls, but the Lord had given them into the hands of the Israelites. Moses then distributed this land among the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh. These tribes were granted their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan River, as they had requested. Moses commanded that the able-bodied men from these tribes must first help their brothers in conquering the land west of the Jordan before they could settle in their own inheritance. This was a reminder that unity and brotherhood were essential for the success of all Israel. Though these tribes had chosen not to settle in the Promised Land, they were still held accountable to follow God's commands. This serves as a reminder that even when we choose our own paths, we are still called to be obedient and faithful to God. Moses reminds the Israelites that he will not cross the Jordan River with them into the Promised Land. This was a result of his disobedience at the waters of Meribah, when he struck the rock instead of speaking to it as God had commanded. Moses pleaded with God to allow him to see the Promised Land, but God reaffirmed that Moses would not enter and instructed him to commission Joshua as the new leader of Israel. God told Moses to encourage and strengthen Joshua and remind him that the Lord himself will fight for them. Moses reminds the Israelites to remember all that they had seen and experienced during their time in the wilderness. He urges them to keep God's commands, statutes, and ordinances so that they may live and prosper in the Promised Land. Moses emphasizes that following God's ways will set them apart from all other nations and serve as a testimony to their wisdom and understanding. This is still true for us today. When we follow God's ways, our lives will be a testament to His goodness and faithfulness. Moses warns the Israelites against falling into idolatry, reminding them of God's command to have no other gods before Him. He reminds them that they had heard God's voice and had seen no form or image when He gave them the 10 Commandments. He warns that if they become corrupt and fall into idolatry, they will be scattered among the nations. This is a reminder that turning away from God leads to destruction and separation from Him. However, if the people seek God and return to Him, He promises to be found and will bring them back from captivity. God is jealous, yet merciful, and desires our wholehearted devotion and worship. Let us remember the importance of keeping Him first in our lives. Moses declares that there is only one true God and encourages the Israelites to seek and serve Him with all their hearts. He reminds them of how He created them and chose them as His own special people. He delivered them from Egypt and gave them strength to drive out greater and stronger nations. Therefore, they should trust and obey Him as their only God. Moses encourages the parents to teach their children about God's commands and His ways, so they may continue to follow Him faithfully. This is a responsibility that still applies to us today, to pass down our faith and knowledge of God to future generations. There is only one God who deserves our full devotion and praise. We must choose to serve Him above all else in our lives. Moses also reminds the Israelites of the importance of cities of refuge, designated cities where those who unintentionally committed manslaughter could flee for safety. This was a way to prevent bloodshed and promote justice in the land. As believers, we have a refuge in God, a safe place where we can find forgiveness and protection from our sins. We must always remember to turn to Him for refuge and trust in His righteousness. These chapters serve as a reminder that obedience to God's commands is key to experiencing His blessings and living a life set apart for Him. May we continue to seek and serve the one true God with all our hearts, minds, and souls. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help us spread the word. God bless you.